et bienvenue à notre programme Boîte à souvenirs.
Hi, welcome to our next memory box.
On voulait vous présenter un sujet plus actif, un peu plus physique. Puis en fait, étant donné qu'on va prendre une petite pause pour la fête du Canada, on s'est dit qu'on allait parler d'un sujet très canadien.
So we are going to take a little break during Canada Day, and because of that, we picked a theme that is very, very Canadian. Hockey! Hockey, today we think of it as our national sport. Of course, our national sport for the longest time was lacrosse, but so many people considered hockey as big as a national sport. They didn't want to remove lacrosse, so they actually created a summer official sport and a winter official sport. And that only happened not that long ago, so hockey is Canada's official winter sport.
Je réalisais pas qu'on avait deux sports officiels, un pour l'été puis un pour l'hiver.
And if you'd asked people a while ago, what's Canada's official sport, they'd say hockey, when it's actually lacrosse. So, we certainly can't cover everything. Moncton is a hockey town. We are not hockey experts at all. So we could talk about some of the artifacts we have, but we're actually going to look for you for some things, some information. We're going to miss some, there will be some gaps in the timelines, but I think we're going to concentrate on those teams that really the whole city of Moncton could kind of get behind versus sort of local intramural type teams. We're looking at teams that since the beginning of hockey, the city kind of got behind.
C'est ça, parce que nous, c'est comme qu'il disait, on n'est pas des experts, mais on aime faire de la recherche, puis on a une belle collection, fait qu'on va se concentrer sur des équipes qui ont eu un impact pour notre ville, la ville de Moncton. Puis il y aura peut-être des informations qui manquent, puis en fait, on aimerait vous demander vos conseils, si vous avez des choses à nous envoyer, on est toujours là pour ça.
Okay, so how we're going to go through the first part of this is with logos. We have some logos as graphics, but we have logos on some material that we've taken pictures of. So,
fait que des marques de commerce, des logos qui nous aident à identifier les équipes de hockey.
That's right, and there's so much information, I have to use a cheat sheet, so many names, so many dates, so many dates. So this one right here, we're going to show it right here. Okay.
Ok, ça, moi, ça me dit rien, mais je vois un V, la lettre V.
That is correct. And a later logo actually had little wings, but this was what was actually on the shirt when they did very important things in Moncton. This would be the Moncton Victorias.
D'accord, les Victorias.
That's right. So they were part of the Maritime Professional Hockey League, but only from 1910 to 1913.
D'accord, puis ça, c'était une ligue des provinces maritimes?
That's right.
Nouvelle-Écosse, et du Prince-Édouard, Nouveau-Brunswick.
I believe so, yes. Didn't go as far as Newfoundland. Yeah.
C'est
So
ça, je me
yes,
demandais,
So what's interesting about this team, other than being one of the earliest organized sort of professional or semi-professional teams in the city, they are the only team that can say that they challenged for the Stanley Cup that are from Moncton.
Le fameux Stanley Cup, là.
Because back in 1912, if you won the National Hockey Association, you actually could be challenged by another team for the Stanley Cup.
C'est pas comme ça que ça fonctionne aujourd'hui. Hein?
No.
Fait qu'ils ont,
you have to win the
contesté, c'est ça, j'ai bien compris, ils ont contesté pour le Stanley Cup. Il y a une autre équipe qui l'a gagné, puis eux, ils se sont dit, sais-tu quoi, je vais contester ça, puis je vais essayer de le gagner de toi.
That's right. So, the Victorias from Moncton played in Quebec against the Quebec Bulldogs, who were the National Hockey Association champions.
C'est eux qui avaient gagné.
That's right.
Okay.
Best of three. They didn't make it to game 3.
No. Fait que c'était proche.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they only played 2. Best of. So they lost 8-3, I think, and then 9-0. But they went for it.
C'est courageux quand même. Tu sais, c'est comme moi, je vais faire ça.
To be able to say that you're the only Moncton team to vie for a Stanley Cup, they've changed the rules. It'll never happen unless we someday get a National Hockey League team. So.
Je serais curieuse de savoir si ça a déjà arrivé que quelqu'un a contesté pour le Cup Stanley puis qu'ils l'ont gagné. On fera de la recherche.
That's something.
Si vous savez, laissez-nous savoir.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be cool if someone actually beat them.
Yeah.
Contested. Yeah, King of the Hill. Oh, you think you're the King of the Hill? I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay, so this one we're gonna talk about a little bit here, but this beautiful bird right here, we'll show it on the camera.
Ça, je reconnais ça.
You know this one?
Ben, je sais pas si je le connais. Ben, j'imagine parce que je le vois souvent. C'est un oiseau de proie, un faucon peut-être. Puis on a une équipe très connue ici à Moncton. Qui fait partie de notre collection depuis longtemps.
So this is the Moncton Hawks, and I say that because we're going to talk a little bit more that the Hawks were such a big deal in the 1930s. There's at least a dozen teams at different levels that called themselves the Hawks.
D'après cette équipe-là.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Trying to be the Hawks, but these were the Hawks. And we talk about them so much, but they were only around from 1931 to 1935.
C'est incroyable, ils sont légendaires. Là. Comme moi, je suis pas très hockey, mais je connais les Moncton Hawks. Puis c'est ça faisait juste, ils étaient en existence très très courte, 4 ans.
That's right.
Oh mon.
But during that time, 2 years in a row, they won the Allen Cup.
C'est pour ça, ils ont fait quelque chose de très très notable.
So the Allen Cup would be, if you want to put it in terms of stature, a little more important or a little more in stature than maybe the Memorial Cup.
Okay, Memorial, Allen.
And then not quite the Stanley Cup, but pretty close. Kind of in that range.
Okay.
But it was so important for Moncton. If you look at our wall, all of this stuff, this goalie stick with images of the players and their names, First Nation style bead embroidery work.
Oui, c'est beau ça avec les perles.
Door knockers.
Les épingles.
And then these cards that would have been distributed in the newspapers and ribbons. It was a big deal. And what else do we have here from them? They wrote a song, the Hawks song, dedicated to Moncton's glorious Hawks, twice winners of the Allen Cup and North American amateur hockey champions. So there's actually a song called the New Hawks Song, 1934, words and music by Catherine Melville.
Wow, ben c'est ça, c'est parce que Moncton cherchait toujours à vraiment appuyer une équipe. Hein, c'est ça, comme Moncton voulait toujours, OK, quelle équipe qu'on peut appuyer maintenant? Puis en ce moment, c'était Hawks, puis ils avaient fait quelque chose de vraiment, vraiment impressionnant. Fait qu'ils ont eu beaucoup d'attention, beaucoup d'amour. Ils ont écrit une chanson.
And to give you an idea of the era, Bill Gill is one of the more famous Hawks. That was part of the team.
Bill Gill.
Bill
okay.
Gill. These were his skates.
On a ses patins.
Yep.
OK.
So, heavy,
Ah ouais.
leather, have been sharpened a lot. The blades have gone.
C'est vrai, c'est présent.
Rivets and so actually not terribly different from today's skates versus what would have come before. What came before would have been skates you'd actually strap on your boots.
C'est ça, oui, c'est ça. Mais ça rapproche plus à ce qu'on a aujourd'hui, que tu rentres ton pied dans la botte.
Yeah, but feel the inside though. Feel the sides. That's more like a speed skater. Like, would you like to get a hard puck to the ankle with no protection? Like that's there's nothing. It's thin.
D'accord,
it's leather, but
c'est
it's
mince.
yeah.
Oui, ça protège pas vraiment.
Yeah. So those are Allen Cup winning skates.
C'est spécial. Bill Gill.
Bill Gill. So the other part, and why don't we take a break now? And what happened? We had gotten some film from their arrival, their victory parade, arriving at the train station, riding down Main Street to City Hall.
Quand ils ont gagné le Allen Cup,
c'est
la
ça.
première fois,
Oui, I think la première fois.
ils ont fait une parade, ils sont arrivés.
So they announced that when they're going to come to the station, and there's film. We made an arrangement and we got it sent to Ottawa, and they digitized it, and now the original is back at the archives. But we have digital footage of that parade, and you think of Santa Claus parades, you think of big parades, big events that have happened in downtown. This was spontaneous. This was
c'est pas planifié là.
well planned in that they announced it was going to happen, but it's not like the Santa Claus parade that happens every year. It's not like AC/DC coming to the hill. This was, they didn't know how many citizens were going to come. We're going to show you right now a few little snippets of what it was like when they came to town after winning the Allen Cup.
Oui, parce qu'on est chanceux d'avoir la version numérique, fait qu'on va regarder à ça.
As you can see from that video, it was unbelievable.
Hey, il y avait du monde, là. Comme tu dis, il y avait du monde dans la messe.
Thousands and thousands of people.
Wow.
And what's great about that footage is you have footage of Main Street in 1933, 34.
Oui, c'est une belle référence historique
Yeah.
de voir la rue Main dans
You
le
get to
temps.
see our facade at the museum here when it was on Main Street, things like that.
Avez-vous vu? Il y
Yeah.
avait la façade de l'hôtel de ville qui est en fait dans le musée aujourd'hui.
So that's a cool piece of media that we have. To actually have that digitized is incredible.
Right.
So that's the Hawks. Short-lived, big impact.
C'est ça. On s'en souvient des Hawks.
So we're going to go through a few more of these here. Obviously, it says right
Ça
on
dit
it.
Moncton Flyers.
Okay,
fait
the
que je
Moncton
devenais
Flyers.
Moncton Flyers.
Again, there have been other teams that were the Moncton Flyers.
Ah ouais.
But this Flyers were 1953-54 from the New Brunswick Senior Hockey League. So there's always a Flyers. Anything that has an NHL team, minor teams or other teams always name
Ils
themselves.
prennent le même nom.
Well, yeah,
Ah,
the Flames and the Flyers and
Okay.
they can't copyright Flyers,
non.
but
Mais ça-
Philadelphia Flyers, yes, but quite often they're named that way because they might be a farm team for the senior team.
Okay.
So maybe they have a direct association to the Calgary Flames, while that junior team or that AHL team would be called the such and such Flames.
Fait que des fois, ils sont vraiment associés à l'équipe, qui prennent le même nom.
That's right.
Okay.
Not always, but
But
it was frequent. Yeah. So show it here. 1956-57. This is from a sweater that we have from a Bill Sinnott from
Un autre Hawks.
Atlantic Coast Senior League.
Mais c'est pas les mêmes Hawks?
It's not the same. The logo, if you see, it's still a hawk, but this hawk is a little. This one has something in its hands,
Ouais, comme un poisson ou
Yeah.
un autre.
and this one's a little more aggressive, a little more defined.
Okay.
But this Hawks, and just to let you know, we're missing about 6 Hawks logos between those because there's Hawks in 46 to 51, there's Hawks 51 to 52, 52 to 53, 53 to 54, all in different leagues. So the name Hawks kept carrying forward and carrying forward.
Utilisé. Puis, si vous avez des versions de logo des équipes de Moncton Hawks ou de Hawks, on veut les voir parce que c'est ça, on cherche à compléter notre collection, il en manque quelques-uns.
Even just for reference, we don't need the
Non, non,
artifacts.
non,
we
c'est
just
ça,
want to
juste
see
des photos,
visually
là,
what they were. Yeah.
C'est ça.
So that sweater is right here, and that sweater is actually Bill Sinnott's sweater from the Moncton Hawks. He was number 7.
Numéro
Well
7?
used.
Oui!
I would say those are colors from another team.
Ah oui, ça se peut, hein? Il y a des trous, c'est taché de nos couleurs de notre équipe.
So that's the Atlantic Coast Senior League.
OK.
And then we will move ahead to this one.
Ah! C'est-tu le même que ça?
It is the same. That is the actual crest right here. And that is a Moncton Hawks from 1963-64. So
Not
10,
Hawks.
10 years later, that one is pretty much the same as the one from the 50s. So even though they kind of switched leagues a little bit, they kept the same logo at that point, or very similar. But you see the evolution of the logo, a little more aggressive. This one was confusing because it said Decker Boy on it. Well, they're not the Decker Boys, that was the sponsor of the team.
Ah, ils ont mis le nom du commanditaire sur le logo. On dirait d'un castor.
Oui!
C'est ça?
Moncton Beavers!
Les Beavers.
1977 to 1980. They were a New Brunswick Junior A team. But they were around a long time and actually accomplished quite a bit for a Junior A team. But that was their logo, the little beaver with the toque. Sponsored by Decker Boy. Now we start getting into ones that I remember going to the games. It says right on it what it is. This would be the
Hawks.
Oui.
The New Brunswick.
The New Brunswick.
Brunswick.
Yeah, that's right. So the New Brunswick Hawks. People remember these now. We're
Mais
talking
ça me dit quoi, le logo?
78 to 82. You'll see that still in
okay.
pawn shops and stuff. A lot of
Okay.
artifacts.
Weird.
So that was a different league that they competed in. That being the Moncton Hawks, they needed to represent a little bit bigger. So they were the New Brunswick Hawks at the time. Then you start getting into sponsorships and things like
Ah, les Alpines.
Remember the Alpines?
Fait que là, est-ce que c'est parce que Alpine
I think
était
the brewery
commanditaire?
was the sponsor. I believe that's how they get the
Okay.
Alpines, yeah. And this was 82 to 84 is when that logo was. But that's our foray into the AHL, the American Hockey League. So, do you remember this logo?
Ah! Flames? Non.
The Flames, but they were the Moncton Golden Flames.
OK.
Guess who their parent team was? This was a farm team. Calgary Flames.
Calgary
Yeah.
Flames.
Yeah. So that's 84 to 87. They also did pretty well, but again, another team where they were representing Moncton in a large geographic area. So a team that the whole city could get
Ils
behind.
étaient associés à les Calgary Flames.
Yep.
D'accord.
Yep.
Puis c'est ça, dans le temps-là, Moncton était très, oui, les Moncton Golden Flames.
Yeah.
OK. Fait que ça, il y avait comme, ils changeaient d'équipe, là.
Well, yeah, but like you said before, Moncton always had minor league teams and junior A, but as a group of citizens, you had mentioned, always needed, not wanted,
Ouais,
needed
c'était
a team to get behind.
Hmm.
So the AHL provided that, and the Quebec Major Juniors provide that sort of, as a city, we can get behind this team. You've never seen this before. Hawks.
Ah, ouais. Ah, mais c'est comme vraiment plus moderne, hein?
Yeah, oh
Ils
yeah,
ont changé
yeah.
les-
Completely changed from this kind of
Still.
motif, yeah. So these Hawks, again, AHL, I believe, 1987 to 1994. This was
Okay.
this was their first logo.
87 à 94.
That's right, their first logo. And then in the last couple of years,
La
it's
même équipe a changé
same
de logo.
team, AHL. The last few years, they came up with this logo.
Tellement de Hawks.
They tried it. Well, it starts here, right? Everybody wanted to be the Hawks.
C'était comme
It was-
les idoles.
yeah. And then back to, boy, we're original.
Ah, les Alpines!
Yeah.
Ah, ben là, ça ressemble vraiment plus comme la marque de commerce de la bière.
That's it.
Avec
Yeah,
la-
yeah. So this
avec
is
la
Moncton
montagne.
Alpines, but Quebec Major Juniors.
Ah, d'accord. Fait que ça, c'est la même ligue qu'on connaît aujourd'hui.
That's
avec les
right.
Wildcats et...
These were the Wildcats
Ça, c'était nos Wildcats avant?
for 1 year.
Parce qu'on a l'équipe, les Wildcats, ici à Moncton, hein, pour le Québec Junior Hockey League.
Right. So this was the first Quebec Major Junior team in Moncton. 1 year, they were the Alpines.
Juste une année.
And they were horrible.
Ah,
So
ils ont pas bien
they
fait.
get purchased by the Irvings and become
Ah, d'accord.
the Wildcats. Same team, rebranded, new ownership, and now the Q from 1996
Les
to
mêmes
present.
joueurs.
For the most part, I mean, they would have cleaned house a little bit, but today now we have the Wildcats. So this is the team locally that the city gets behind. And
Oui,
again,
c'est vrai.
good
Ouais.
team, won several President's Cup means you won the year, but then the teams all get together and vie for the Memorial Cup. So they've won that a couple times, but they've won the President's Cup a bunch of times as well. So they've won the year and then have gone to the tournament. Really, the Memorial Cup is a tournament.
OK. Fait que quand tu dis qu'ils ont gagné l'année, c'est pas le tournoi du Memorial Cup.
No,
Ils ont gagné l'année
best record of
par
the year.
rapport à leur score,
Yeah,
comparé aux autres équipes de la
That's right.
province ou de la Ligue.
of the league.
D'accord.
And then the Memorial Cup are all the leagues
Qui
vying
jouent
for,
un contre l'autre.
yeah.
OK.
So we hosted it here not too long ago and almost won. It was good. But the attendance was astronomical.
Ah, ben, je peux croire.
Oh,
Ça,
unbelievable.
c'est comme un gros événement, là.
So that's pretty much it for teams that are sort of privately owned or your seniors, your semi-pros. There are a lot of, like I said, minor teams, junior A, midget teams that have done so well. We can't name them all.
Ouais, ça prendrait plus de temps.
Episode
puis,
5, 6, 7 to get to that. But I wanted to talk about these guys. Les Aigles Bleus de
oui.
l'Université de Moncton.
Oui, notre équipe de l'université.
The reason I want to talk about them is there are sometimes gaps when we had a team to kind of get behind. and even if there were teams, there were a decade and a half, almost 2 decades, where the Blue Eagles were a powerhouse. They won all the time. They were unstoppable.
Les Aigles Bleus, beaucoup.
Oh, incredible. And that's their logo from 2010 to present. So a little bit more again, modern. But that's what I remember growing up. My father was a professor there, so we got to go to all the games and go, and I really became a big fan of them. The amount of players, the amount of coaches, the amount of trainers, the amount of referees that came out of this system to play for the NHL and to contribute is why I wanted to mention it. More so than just about any other team that came. I mean, the Carrolls did a lot back in the day, back in the first half of the 20th century, but University of Moncton produced high caliber athletes for a long period of time. Jean Perron who was their coach, became the coach for the Montreal Canadiens. First coach in his rookie year to win a Stanley Cup.
Fait que lui faisait partie des Aigles Bleus, il était l'entraîneur pour les Canadiens, puis il vient de Moncton, il vient de la région en tout cas. Fait que ce que Lauren disait, c'est que il y a beaucoup des membres de l'équipe où en fait cette équipe-là, les Aigles Bleus, ont résulté dans plusieurs personnes qui ont été plus loin avec le sport.
Yeah, so very, very important team, despite being a collegiate team. Still worth mentioning with the overall picture.
C'est ça la différence, c'est que ça c'est pas une équipe nécessairement comme ça, c'est l'équipe qui est associée à une université. Puis il y avait des moments où il n'y avait pas nécessairement des équipes qui étaient comme l'équipe de la ville de Moncton, mais étant donné qu'ils étaient très impressionnants, la ville décidait, ben, si tu crois, on va y aller, on va encourager les Aigles Bleus. C'est ça?
Which is something, because being a university team, a lot of people in Moncton didn't go to the University of Moncton, so they would be loyal to their school. They'd be loyal against their competitors. They'd be loyal against St. FX, Acadia, Mount A. But when they started doing well, the city got behind them, vying for the the federal cups.
C'est fun parce que c'est une université francophone en plus. Fait que même si j'étais anglophone, puis j'étais associée à une équipe de mon université, Mount A ou quelque chose, je sais pas. Mais j'avais quand même une fierté pour les Aigles Bleus parce que c'était l'équipe de l'université de Moncton qui faisait tellement bien.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's what we have for hockey. We have other artifacts, we have old gloves, all kinds of stuff. Not enough days in the week to talk about all the stuff about hockey we have related to Moncton.
En fait, on avait même une exposition du Musée national de l'histoire, Musée canadien de l'histoire sur le hockey, longtemps passé. Puis, en partenariat avec les Wildcats, ils nous ont offert un jersey avec la signature de tous les membres de l'équipe de cette année-là. C'était vraiment un beau cadeau.
Yeah, we have it on display still.
Oui.
Yeah, the exhibit's gone, but we thought that was pretty special, so we kept it.
C'est vrai. Fait que c'est ça, si vous avez des logos à nous montrer ou des petites choses à mentionner, on est là pour ça.
Pins, n'importe
quoi, oui, on veut voir, on est curieux.
Cool, thanks very much.
On se verra la prochaine fois.
Bye bye.